So, we've finally arrived. The 100th episode of Nerd Comics Inc. And to celebrate this momentous occasion, I decided to ask the other members of the Fellowship of the Art Things, patent pending, for prompts for me to draw. Anyway, on with the show. Why, of all the prompts Kingpin could have given me, do I have to draw Hans Gruber's cat as a Sailor Moon girl? Fine. I hate my eyes for having to see this, and my hands for having to draw this, but let's just move on. So anyway, I have absolutely no experience with Lackadaisy, and my only experience with the whole magical girl genre is trying to avoid it at every whim. However, Kingpin made sure I could not avoid it for long, so here we are. As I said, I've never had to draw this before, because I, tried to preserve my sanity a little bit, so this was a bit of a new challenge for me. A lot of the inspiration I was taking for this drawing was from the 2019 Cats, the movie so bad that a plague was sent shortly afterwards. And yes, this thing is pretty much just as creepy and disturbing. Why, Kingpin, why? I will never forgive you for this. Okay, so funnily enough, despite one of my most popular videos on this channel being turning Digital Circus characters into Power Rangers, I have next to no experience with Power Rangers. I've also only worked with Digimon once when I've turned, well, it wasn't a turning things into things episode, it was a variety episode where I fused Bulbasaur with Palomon. But either way, I really like the design of this thing. Most Digimon have cool designs. Bit underrated, actually. But yeah, overall don't have many notes. Think the colors all work well. Kinda looks like a evil killer watermelon, but that's unrelated to any of this. Yes, if I had to improve one thing, I think I would have added a bit more detail. The design comes across as a bit simplistic, but other than that, I'm just happy I didn't have to draw another furry. Yes, I finally get to draw a dragon. Now, I've made no secret that dragons are probably one of my favorite things to actually draw on the channel. I mean, what's not to love? They're basically giant dinosaurs with wings, occasionally breathing fire, horns, etc. Dragons are objectively cool, so I'm glad that I finally got to draw one. Now, it was a little bit more challenging drawing a humanoid character as a dragon, as obviously humanoid characters, not humanoid, just basically human characters, don't have as much monstrous details I can draw from, but I did manage to pull through this time around. At first I was a bit concerned that this would be a bit of a more simplistic drawing, as the design I was working from was a bit more simplistic, but I added a bit more gold accents and scales in post after the recording, and that very much fleshed out the drawing, as well as the scale rendering, which I really enjoy doing. Also, unlike most of my dragon backgrounds, I didn't draw a background, mostly to fit in with the rest of the drawings of this episode. But yeah, I think this might be my second favorite drawing of this episode, besides the one that's coming up. Wait, what new book?
We got another one. So what do you want? Money? Power? Some guy brought back to life? You're the devil? What? Were you expecting some big guy, horns, red skin, holding a pitchfork? Stereotypical much? I'm sorry. I'm kidding. So, what are you here for? My daughter has gotten a bit out of sorts recently. I want you to fix her. Looks like we got an abusive parent type here. I'm not abusive. I just want the respect I deserve from my children. Yeah, that's what they all say. Now, if you're asking me to mind control your daughter, I can't. Even I got my limits. However, this may help you. What is this? It's a little something I cooked up. I call it the enabling blade. Basically, if you make a deal with a consenting person, you can use this sword to turn him into some kind of monster. I have a feeling you know what to do. Now, let's talk price. Typically, I'd charge a human soul, but truthfully, it doesn't seem as if you have one. So, new deal. Every time you use this blade, something bad will happen in your life. Could be a mild inconvenience, could be a life-shattering event. You won't know. You can't touch my children. Fair enough. Your children are safe from anything I do. Now, do we have a deal?
Oh, yeah, that new book. So yeah, if you couldn't tell by that cinematic trailer, I have a new book out. And when I told Popcross about this, and then asked him for his art prompt suggestion for the episode, he instructed me to venomize the main characters from it. So I chose to venomize the main protagonist, whose name is Marion in the middle right there, and the main villain. This drawing might count as spoilers, because it kind of reveals the final form of the main villain near the end of the book. Honestly, a bit of a mistake in retrospect, but whatever, I'm not going to redo a whole drawing. This is I'm technically up at like midnight recording this, so it comes out tomorrow, which, as you're watching this, is today. I don't know, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. Anyway, that's the drawing. I really do enjoy this. I found that venomizing things is actually significantly more complicated than I thought it would be. Ironically, because venom designs are so simple. Like, they're fairly not that textured. Like, it's the slime texture, but not, there's not a lot of, like, scale or fur, that type of rendering. It's pretty much just slime, switch the colors around, and that's it. But still, the designs turned out really good. I kind of like how I did the Carnage and Venom designs for the main hero and villain of the story, adding that parallel there, and I just like the designs in general of the characters. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this one. Here's the finished result. So, yeah, thanks for sticking around for 100 episodes. How you've managed to tolerate 100 episodes of this is beyond me.